Sáquenme la botella que funda pa' gastarle. Esta noche tú y yo nos vivimos la película. Luce cámara, la acción después en mi recámara. En el duelo no se sabe quién ganará. So baile y bebe. Ese seguro y retrocede. Que me encanta la manera en que tú lo mueves.
Solo pégate un poquito, mami, que yo quiero enseñarte lo que yo tengo para ti. Lo que tengo para ti. Sé que te va a encantar como meto yo.
What is going on, Cowboy Nation? Welcome back to Primetime Studios. Like always, I'm your host, Primetime Phil, and like always, we have our co-host, Gametime Bryan, the opposite way, man. You're going to eventually get it when we're in Season 5 or 6, but eventually my man is going to get it. One thing, we're here, I have a kind of Halloween kind of thing going on with this theme. Didn't have an episode that was going to fall on Halloween for this channel, but I just kind of wanted to give that spirit a little bit, and obviously go into the week 8 after the bye week, and just give it a little bit of a prep, because if you're a Cowboy fan, you're either up, you're down. Most of us are down, but if anything, hopefully this bye week kind of helped the offense get their shit together. So, anyways, one thing person that does not need to get their shit together is Gametime Bryan. Gametime, welcome, sir. Welcome.
What's going on, Primetime Phil? What's going on, man? What is happening? I love the graphics. I love the Halloween. This is kind of like my favorite. I'm a summer guy. I like the pool weather, but truth be told, I love October 1st through January 1st, and then fast forward to the summer again. But yeah, I love this time of year, so I love the graphics. Looking good.
Thank you. We have in the chat Mike
Aldana,
Kiana Gibson. Of course, they're going to be starting to roll in here. But as we talked about, I had a week off on this channel. Had a lot of things happening. As you know, my AC went out in the house, so I got a little portable unit here. So I apologize if you could hear that in the background. But I needed to stay cool somehow, and I got to remind people, man, I'm down here in Florida, so even though I wear sometimes some stuff on this channel, it's definitely not showing the outside weather temperature. But right now, man, I am ready for some football, ready for some Cowboy football. I don't know if the Cowboys are ready for Cowboy football, but we're going to talk about football at least in some of these Week 8 matchups.
Yeah, I'm ready, but whether the Cowboys have gotten their head out of their butts, we will see tomorrow night. Recent history is on our side. I like to fall back on what's comforting, and comforting is Mike McCarthy's 12-5 after the bye week. Last year is a good example of how well we turned around our season following the bye week.
Oh yeah.
I understand we have a tough schedule, but again, it does lighten up at some point, and I'm good with it. So let's roll. I'm excited. That's all we could really say. I'm kind of holding my breath to see what exactly we're going to see tomorrow. What's up, everybody? I see we got Mike Aldana, Kiana, Clemente, CZ, my Eagle friend, and we West Virginia country boy is in the house.
And Chrome Loggins.
What's
I like
up,
it. New.
I love to see the new names.
Definitely love it.
Awesome name.
And so as we talk, I know you've been talking on your channel. You've gotten different angles in the sense of whether the injuries. That's one thing I definitely wanted to bring up with the injuries that we're going to be dealing with. But in general, how do you think the Dallas Cowboys handled the bye week? Going into this week, I know we haven't heard any news other than what's been blabbled out of Jerry's mouth, and one news that I'm very excited about, and I know it could just blend out to be nothing in particular because obviously all the injuries that we have, but I like the fact that we have a Dalvin Cook being brought up from the practice squad and being active for this game. Do you like the possibility there is somebody who's going to be scratched? I mean, there's a combination. There has to be somebody, right?
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. I don't know who's going to be scratched. That's the interesting dilemma. I want to hear from the people in the chat. The only thing I can think of is Zeke Elliott. We know that Deuce Vaughn's going to be scratched, but Lepke's playing. Rico's playing. Dalvin's playing, are they going to go with a fourth running back who doesn't play special teams? I don't know. I'm very confused.
Yeah.
Stay tuned, everybody.
I mean, if every time you need a hard runner that's going to, push. I mean, Fred Warren, those are some good linebackers.
Right.
And as much as they have the injuries, we have a lot more in a lot more key places, and so
nobody even cares about that.
Nobody does.
As far
but
as the other teams, you know how it works.
But it matters a lot. It's
it matters.
As we were going into last week's game,
matters.
as the last time we were going into that Detroit game, I love our matchup against each other when we're healthy and what we could possibly have. But I knew there was no possible way we're going to stay in the game with an injury list that we had. We bitch and moan about Micah Parsons, but let's be real. They're going into every single game plan talking about him, game planning him, strategizing to go away from him, to go towards him, wave up in the air, smack him in the butt. I don't care what you're doing, but you're doing something with Micah Parsons in every single play, and that's not what's happening now. Our best edge rusher, I don't know, but our best edge holder in the sense of the run game and D-Law, not there. In that game, Kendricks hasn't been, he isn't a marvelous linebacker. He's not Pro Bowl material, but he's our leading tackler, So there's a lot of combinations. Ron Bland, he's always getting beat. Well, I know the fact that he led the interceptions with touchdowns last year, and we are missing the hell out of that type of stuff. So
he hasn't played a snap for us. And again, all we're hearing this week is, oh my God, you guys are getting lucky. The 49ers, they're beat up. Again, it don't matter. 49ers are a well-oiled machine.
And guess what? And when it comes
against the Cowboys.
Yes, and let me be real. Like, when it comes to that, and they're talking about the 49ers and what they've had to deal with, them coming into the Dallas, or Dallas going into their stadium right now, is probably one of those ones, well, at least we got Dallas coming in here, limping in here with all this stuff. That should be really the narrative, because all the injuries, when you lay them down, I mean, that right there is almost an all-pro team. And now you're going out there with, not your second and third pass rusher. Those guys are out as well, too. You're running around there with guys, no names. Let's be real, man. Guys that were barely going to make any kind of roster, was coming off of practice squads. I do like the potential that some of them have, but let's be real, man. They're not NFL starters, and they're sure as hell not Pro Bowlers, and that's kind of what we need right now.
Yeah, exactly. And again, nobody... nobody really cares about our injuries, but we know. We lost our top 4 edge rushers, one of them for the year. We've lost... Eric Kendricks is big tomorrow night. He has a calming effect on that team. He leads our team in tackles by a lot. So, again, is he the best in the world? No, but he's a solid veteran. You need him. But, Bland obviously re-injured the foot prior to, I believe it was Friday's practice, and they're keeping it hush-hush. But, they're in a pickle now because they activated they have until Wednesday to activate him, pull him up. If not, he reverts back to IR for the season. So my guess is that's why they're being ultra...
Well, I mean, I don't care if he is injured, I would just go ahead and bring him up. And even if you're going to, it's kind of one of those situations.
Yeah, he won't play. He won't be activated. He won't be part of the game.
Let's be real, 46. Man. This is the reason why I'm gonna swing for. I'm gonna do the. Oh, this is gonna be a terrible analogy, but I'm gonna do the terrorist thing, and I'm going to, instead of going after this terrorist, I'm gonna go against this other one, and I'm gonna bring up a guy that has nothing to do with that, and C.J. Goodwin. C.J. Goodwin, of course, great special teamers and stuff like that. But this is the point where we need that roster spot for something that matters.
Exactly. How many years have I cut him? And it's like,
if you could have Bland in there, at least have him on the roster, not playing, but at least you could have somebody over here with some potential. And so
exactly.
No,
exactly. You could have kept Nashawn Wright to play special teams, and at least he could play corner better than C.J. Goodwin can. But we decide, again, this is where we defer for our special team. But that's just why, it'll be curious to see who is the odd man out in the run. We know Deuce Vaughn won't be activated, but it has to be Zeke unless they're going to carry an extra running back spot, which makes no sense. So I think Zeke is going to be...
Has anything this team done make any effing sense this year? Let's be real.
No, it really hasn't. And I think starting with the offense, the offense has been bad. It really has. We're averaging 21 points a game. Maybe it's a tick lower than that now after the last showing, but that's basically what we're averaging, and that's not good enough in the league. So we'll see. I do think it's going to be a very close game. We'll get to the prediction later. Again, I'm doing it on spite. I told people I wouldn't pick Dallas over Niners until I actually see them beat them. How many in a row is this now, Phil? Do we know?
4, 5? Like 4 or 5, I think.
It's at
like
least
4.
four.
I want to say
four
at least
or
4.
5, maybe 6. Yeah. Maybe 6. It's been a while since we beat the 49ers.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter to me that it's a weakened Niner team. They're going to still try and run the ball.
And that's our weakness, and they got a good running back. I mean, even with their main guy out, they still got a great one.
Yeah, Mason will be there. I expect them to have some success. Again, like Detroit, they're not going to pose the offensive threat that Detroit did, but make no mistake, they're still a threat. And the fact that Micah is not playing it's very deflating to me. It's kind of like the balloon. The air is coming out of the balloon before the game. Bland, we haven't seen yet, but at least Mike, we know he can make some havoc. Yeah, he struggles against the run. All right, Penn State, I'm watching you. I'm watching Penn State. But, so, a little bit of a kick in the gut, but
both teams, man.
This to be better tomorrow
both
night.
Teams. If you're watching the graphics, I want you to see something on the graphics there.
Yeah. I'm looking at cripple fight.
Cripple
fight. That's cute. I love it.
And that's what it reminded me of, man. It's just there's just a lot of injuries that both of them, both teams, both teams not looking the greatest when it comes to their key guys being out, and for some crazy ass reasons. Some of them. I mean, let's be real. Let's be real, man. When we're looking at this team, they do a really good job running the ball because Brock Purdy is, he doesn't have all those weapons. See, when you have like 1 or 2 weapons, it's a little different when that guy's being covered and everything. And so he's having trouble spreading that ball, and his accuracy is kind of coming into play because of uncertainty in some plays. And so with that, the run game, at least they have the run game to lean on, where Dak, they've had their kind of struggles, and whether you want to point to Dak, whether you want to point to CD, the wide receivers, Troy Aikman was the wide receivers, whether you want to point to the offensive line not getting blocks, pointed to all of it. I think that's what it is. You got to even point to coach.
Everybody. Jerry Jones, I'll give Jerry a little bit of credit. What's up, USMC? What's up, my man? I would be shocked if Dallas makes a game of this. No, I think they will. I don't see a blowout at all, man.
I just want them to get their shit together. If they can get their shit together, then it's just the offense. I'm not
predicting a win out of spite, but I really do think that we're going to get Dallas's best shot tomorrow night. Whether it's good enough, we'll see. But I think it's going to be a good game. USMC, just watch. I'm telling you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I've been to every Dallas Cowboys game for the past 15 years. That's awesome. Wow. That's awesome, Mike.
And Mike, 1, 2, 3, everybody wants to talk. Hey, Chris, I'm glad you got your computer going, buddy. Mike, 1, 2, 3.
Chris Bay.
I would say this. You are a real fan. If people want to... Anybody that says Dallas Cowboy fans are front runners, we haven't done something in so long that it could be easy. If I wasn't a real
I root for
Cowboy fan,
I root for the Cowboys.
It could be
because
easy for me to go root for the Eagles
because of the ladies.
Away, but that's just not who I am. I'm gonna stick and die with my team.
Damn right,
I'm gonna
man.
die, and I'm gonna die. And then my wife says, "Why do you leave the game on when it got bad?" I'm like, "I need to
because
I
gotta see it. I gotta know what's happening. I have to rewatch it to see. And that's what I hate. I'm like, I gotta rewatch it. It's garbage.
I keep telling everybody, Phil, that this shit's gonna. Yeah, Dalvin's playing.
Yes, he is.
This shit's gonna be here and gone before you know it. Philly D, this is going to be over before we know it. There's going to be one team that wins the Super Bowl, and I got news for you. Odds are it's not going to be either one of
these teams. Yeah, I must say either one of these teams.
But we're not dead. We're like Michael Myers. We're going to keep coming back, and it ain't over. The NFL is you got to get into the dance and get hot. So listen, until we're out, we're not. So I'm excited. Yeah, USMC, I think we're going to be able to run the ball a little. They don't have Javon Hargrave. He's out for the year. Whichever Bosa play, I think it's Joey. Is it Joey? I think Joey Bosa plays for the Niners. He's playing,
Nick Bosa.
but he's...
Nick Bosa. Joey plays for the Chargers.
Okay.
So it's Nick Bosa.
Every time.
Yeah.
Nick Bosa.
Those
the
Bosa
brothers.
the Bosa's brothers.
Fucking Bosa. He's playing, but he's not 100%. Kittle's playing, but he's not 100%. I mean, Dak came out and made a statement that he's played average. I mean, he's up near the top of the league in passing. Why? Because we're always so down.
If he was Baker Mayfield, he'd have been like, I'm the shit.
Yeah, right. Jerry Jones made a statement that made actually some sense for the first time in a long time. He said, Dak Prescott, we get carried away. Ooh, is that a catch? Ooh, what a catch by Penn State. Touchdown. He basically said it's all about the footwork with Dak. And the offensive line, since Guyton has been out, has struggled.
Yes, it has.
So
it has.
Everybody who hates Guyton doesn't really understand what's going on. It's not so much the fact that Guyton's out. It weakens that side.
It sounds like to
Smith
me
being in between both rookies is big.
True. Yeah.
It is. And Phil would tell you he played the game. Yeah. So, you need that that steadying, and Tyler Smith is real good at that left guard spot.
Yeah, that's what I said. Even each one you can point out a weakness. Even guys like my pet cat, of course, is Cooper Beebe. But I've seen him struggle with those stunts. When they're coming up, he gets really focused on those blocks. And when they need to peel off and pass it along, if it's not within the play, he's not automatically doing it. I mean, I love the fact that he's locked in on the block and he's not allowing that to go. But sometimes he needs to peel off because they're stunting around, and he's struggled with that. And that's my guy, and I think he's going to be an All-Pro for years to come. But Tyler Smith, of course, going to that left side, we love him on the left side. But yes, Brian's right. You're putting two guys in the middle there. That again, I love how Bassett and Beebe are playing together. It makes me very excited for the next following year when Zach Martin, unfortunately, does retire. We do have that piece that's going to do an amazing job. And then, of course, the backup Hoffman. I love the interior of this line, and I think Brian brings up a great point when he's talking about Guyton. I love his potential, whether it's at the right tackle, the left tackle. If you're going to keep him at the left tackle, just go ahead and just ride that, man. Don't go back to the right tackle. I know people were talking about bringing in and replacing Steele and everything like that, and I get it. I would be all for it if you were getting in the draft an actual left tackle, a guy that was bringing into the actually playing left tackle. Exactly. Otherwise, I don't want to do that experiment shit.
Yeah, again, this is where, it's easy to look back, but I'm going to give Guyton, and everybody that I trust, basically says he's going to be a great Pro Bowler. So he needs he needs some time. And it hasn't been that bad. His athleticism has saved him and bailed him out, and rather than his footwork. It takes a while. Muscle memory when you're at this level, when you got Myles Garrett and T.J. Watt, and it just doesn't get easier week after week. But Phil brings up Terrence Steele, who's a year removed from the ACL, or now a year and a half. Or whatever, you know what I mean? Last year was not good. We expected him to be better this year, and he hasn't. So that's an issue. He's your veteran that you've signed. So you can get out of the contract rather quickly. So we'll have to see, that's a possibility going forward for after the season, maybe possibly getting another left tackle, slide Guyton back to his natural right tackle. But that's for another time. Right now, they need to find a way to get a win against a desperate football team in the San Francisco 49ers. Yeah,
and let's be real. Even a team that's struggling, they are scoring points. They're not. It's not like they're not scoring points. I think when you look at our offense, that's the problem. Yeah, our defense isn't stopping anybody, but our offense is also not keeping the game close. So both sides are kind of doing that. You're not keeping the game close by either one of your guys' play. The only person that is keeping this game even remotely close is our kicker. And let's just be real, man. We can't kick it every single drive because, whether it's penalties, stupidity in the sense of the discipline, or like, I'm gonna be real with you, man. Like, we've all looked at these play callings and we've questioned it while it's happening. Even Jerry Jones comes out and kind of like points out what's happening in the offensive side, and let's be real, man. If McCarthy can't bring that side of the ball, then what the hell is your worth? The culture has kind of already changed. We don't need to worry about that anymore. And what the hell is Brian Schottenheimer doing anyways?
Shoddy.
Like, I wanted him to run the offense because the last time I saw him actually run an offense was with a quarterback named Russell Wilson in Seattle that they looked great because they really kind of played to his strengths, which is kind of what Dak has. And so instead of allowing Schottenheimer to do his thing and allow him and Dak to get on the same page, I feel like McCarthy's kind of in between there and now allowing that to happen.
Well, I'm kind of over the whole Mike McCarthy knew exactly what he was getting when he signed on to be the Dallas Cowboys head coach.
I'm laughing because he said, hold McCarthy's coffee. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, he's holding the Starbucks. But he knew what he was getting into. It seems like he's gotten more annoyed. Listen, bro, produce. You're near the bottom of the league in motion now. And I do know that, the Chiefs don't run a lot of motion, but they also have a Patrick Mahomes. I will tell you that CeeDee Lamb ran a lot of motion at the University of Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you want to help a young receiver, put him in motion. You want to help a Jalen Tolbert and a Jalen Brooks and a Ryan Flournoy, put him in motion. I understand it's difficult. You lead the league in penalties as it is.
I don't know how the hell it's difficult. It's not difficult. That's the thing. It is not difficult to put somebody in motion.
They make it sound like it's like,
well, these guys only have 50% tank. Yeah, can you run? They run forward.
It's your job. But he's had an attitude, McCarthy. He's tired of all the questions. Listen, bro, that's the Dallas Cowboys. It's not.
Go to the Tennessee Titans.
Nobody can.
Yeah, go to Tennessee Titans. Nobody gives a shit what's going on over there.
Yeah, exactly. You want to go and be anonymous? Go be the Carolina Panthers head coach. Yeah, nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
So
nobody's calling for his head right now.
Again, I'm going to give him this week. I'm glad they're playing a tough team like the Niners, and people want to say, "Oh, tough! They're 3-4." Yeah, you're being disingenuous. They're a tough football team, especially at home. They're a hard-nosed football team because you're already seeing, well, if you win, you're beating the banged-up Niner team. Whatever. I don't have time for that type of BS.
Oh yeah, it's going to be.
A win is a win is a win.
Yeah, you got to take
it in your back pocket. There's nobody more beat up than we are. I understand we got our quarterback. That's cool. But, I'm just saying, you need
people on defense to stop the other team,
Right. But, get your scores in. Like we're going to get to all the games. But,
let's go ahead, man. For the past couple of weeks, man, I've had pretty good records. The week before, I went 13-1.
I picked it
Last week, I went 11-3, so it's just like, I'm all right. Here we go.
There you go. Yeah, did you have the Ravens?
No, man. I do have the Ravens.
The Vikings,
I had the Vikings. So I immediately lost. I immediately lost the first game.
Yeah,
like, God dang it.
Rams, so
that's how I started last. Oh, okay, you bastard.
Yeah, I went with the Rams.
Yeah, it was only 10% of people.
The Rams.
Yeah. It's understandable. They played great though. Puka Nacua came back. I couldn't take
a good score, Mouse.
I could not take Puka Nacua out of my IR for the ESPN one, so I had to leave him in there. They wouldn't let me activate him.
CZ says, "Oh, really? Yeah, that's so stupid. There's something going on there." CZ 3-3 tie. Yeah, I'll take it. Give me a tie.
Give me a tie. I'd rather take that. Yeah, I would say that might help us actually.
But all right, let's get it started, and we'll touch base on whatever we think of. But we'll start with the first game. The Baltimore Ravens going to Cleveland to play the Browns.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, man, this is going to be a tough one to pick. I would have to go all the way with the Ravens. Yeah, I can't see. I guess this would be the time if Cleveland's going to turn it on. Nobody's expecting anything from you. I feel like Watson was kind of holding that offense back. But let's be real. The backup isn't like. It's not It's not Joe Flacco, man. If it was Joe Flacco, then maybe I'd be putting it on Flacco.
I don't mind him.
Jameis Winston, is that who it is?
The Ravens win. Yeah, the Ravens win. EJB's right. I don't know if it'll be 30 to
30
nothing, but it's probably close. Yeah, poor Browns. Again, everybody wants to poo-poo Dallas and Dallas. Don't worry about the Cowboys. Worry about teams who've never won a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
that's why I'm not upset with Detroit. Detroit's never won a Super Bowl. I'm happy. I hope they don't peak too early, but they're a tough physical football team. So,
yeah, they are.
But anyway, Ravens seem to be the overwhelming pick. 98% of the country is taking the Ravens over the Browns. So we move on. Detroit Lions are hosting the Tennessee Titans. Yet another lopsided game.
This should be. Now, again, this, week to week, how the NFL works. If this is gonna be an upset, this is gonna definitely have to become an upset in all matters of this game. Whether it's the talent, whether it's the everything has to happen. You got they came in this morning and so stubbed his toe this morning, so Amon-Ra St. Brown can't do that. That's the only way you're really going to be able to stop them.
How about that?
And so to me, Detroit should win this, and they should win this heavily. Well, how many points are they favored? I'm
going to pull it up.
How did manage
I normally do it, but we haven't.
No, you're good.
Yeah, here.
So I was just saying, EJB puts Lions 40-0. Lions.
Well, the line right now
to
is
13.
11.5.
See, that goes to show you, man. 2 touchdowns, man. Easily 2 touchdowns.
Now, this is a game where if it was at Tennessee, I could see a real close game. But the fact that it's home in Detroit, it won't. It may be close just because
they ride that crowd
other
very well.
Conference. You know how it is. It's an early game, 1 o'clock, coming off of an emotional win. But they have an extra couple days to get ready for this too. Detroit,
Thank you.
They played on that Thursday night, I believe.
Yeah.
So Lions are going to roll. 99% of America's picked, even up especially.
Who the hell picked Tennessee? Tennessee fans. That's who the hell picked those.
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna win, baby.
Will Levis's mother.
Yeah, exactly. Sweet, my sweet is gonna win. He's gonna win the basket.
Hercules.
He's gonna get a home run on Sunday.
1 o'clock game. The 2-4 Miami Dolphins host the Arizona Cardinals. I believe they're getting Tua back. The line on the game, since we're just to give you an idea, 4.5. 4.5 points. The Dolphins are favored by.
And so the favor comes from Tua possibly coming back. Tua's supposed to be coming back. I think even with Tua back, I still got to give Arizona a little bit of the credit because I think they've been getting beat barely. But I love Kyler Murray's play, and I'm not a Kyler Murray fan. I am not a fan of his at all, but his play has been amazing, as definitely worthy of an NFL quarterback. So I'm going to give in this matchup Arizona, but would not be surprised if Miami has a field day. Hey, welcome homecoming type of stuff, whatever.
Yeah. Most people, or 54% of the country, is taking Arizona even up, mind you. That's an even up. But that one's tough for me. I'm going to go Dolphins just because Tua's back, a little excitement, but I'm not comfortable there. The Cardinals have let me down thus far. They play hot.
Yeah, they do.
They make some stupid mistakes. So
they're the Saints.
I'm
they're like
go
the
with the
Saints.
home team there, but that's a big if. That's assuming Tua is indeed back. I would go with the Dolphins and kind of grin and bear it, but not comfortably. I would not touch the game. If I touch the game, I'd probably take the points.
Yeah, that one. Those are one of those ones I can see it going either way.
I would probably take the points and wish for a field goal game type of deal. Yeah. But moving along, we got another barn burner, yet another barn burner game. New England Patriots, the 1-6 Patriots, are hosting the New York Football Jets.
Man, remember when this rivalry used to mean something?
Yeah, right.
Yes, it's amazing how a couple of years will change this. To me,
7-point favorite on the road.
When you look at this team, the Jets team, at some point, you would imagine that this offense is going to start to explode. Adams, it may not happen right away, but I think at some point this trade is really going to benefit the Jets in this offense. It's just going to take a matter of time before these guys get back on the same page. And Lazard is kind of complimenting Adams. I mean, when was that happening? So it's just, I love the combination. The fact that Wilson doesn't have to be that guy. He can learn from a veteran. It's an amazing pickup. So to me, the Jets should be able to run away with this, but it's going to really go on Aaron Rodgers and how much they struggle on the offense, because I do believe that the Jets defense can hold the Patriots, but I do like Drake May as well too, man. I was very high on him in the draft, and so I would like to see what else he can do. But if I had to pick it right now, I would say the Jets.
Yeah, this is a Jet win. I think New England's building something. I'm hearing that they were calling for the New England's head coach
Mayo already?
job.
Really?
Yeah,
Really, guys?
I don't know.
How can you do this when you?
I heard
At what point?
about that?
At what point in this season did you see in the beginning going, "Oh man, this is going to be the year we're going to be right back in play"? No, everybody knows that this is a rebuild year. So the fact that you're automatically calling for it, like, what kind of fan base are you?
Well,
Get out of here with that.
I've been hearing it, and I'm like, I don't really understand that. You know what you're getting with New England, right, Phil? You knew this was going to be one of those years. You're
It is,
get another good pick. You're developing. You hope you develop right. You hope Drake May was the right pick, but
I like him
I think
a lot.
Jets is the move.
All right. No, you're good. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm hearing myself. All right. Anyway, we move it along here. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Good game. This is actually probably one of the best 1 o'clock games outside of the Eagles.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay hosting the Atlanta Falcons. It's literally almost.
So what did I say
54%.
What did I say the previous week when I was talking about Tampa Bay, and there gets to a point where they just will turn it off, and it goes as far as Baker Mayfield will allow it. You saw last week he just struggled, and it really wasn't a lot to do with him other than he would look like he was just having an off day when it came to throwing. This is when it comes to these type of matchups where there's divisional rivalries or teams that are really, really good. I think that's when Baker Mayfield tends to bring his game and elevate it a lot. So I'm right with Brian. I think there's going to be a hell of a high-scoring game. Maybe your 20s and 30s kind of thing for both teams, because I don't shy away from what Atlanta can do as well too. They got a lot of weapons. They just need to get it going, and once that train gets going, it's hard to stop. So I got to go Tampa Bay, but I think that's just because it's a home game for Tampa.
Yeah, Tampa Bay. Just remember, everybody, Tampa Bay may be going on a losing streak.
Because of the White House, right? Oh, yeah,
I believe Atlanta. I know Atlanta's on a losing streak. I actually am going to take the Atlanta Falcons here. I think Tampa Bay lost Godwin and Mike Evans. So that's their two starting wide receivers. Yes, they can run the ball, but so can Atlanta.
Man, I love White. That is a great running back.
Yeah, I have him. I like Bucky Irving, actually. He's been coming on lately, Oregon's own. Buccaneers are a 2.5-point underdog at home. I think the line is telling you something. I'm going to go with the Falcons here. Lay the 2.5, field goal game at worst. I expect Atlanta to pick it up, but I wouldn't be upset if Atlanta takes the L again, make them miserable. But because we're playing Atlanta next week, so I mean,
of course.
I'm not one of those guys that say, "Oh, unless it's a divisional opponent." I'm not one of those guys. Oh, well, yeah, they won, so we have a better chance of win, or they're losing, they're going to be mad. No, I don't think so.
No, you gotta get away from that. The NFL, the NFL, we're talking about this whole week-to-week league. I think that kind of where it starts to peel that away, because the injuries and all that kind of stuff, it just seems to not take into play all that other stuff, the momentum things and stuff, because all these injuries, you're hoping that these guys get on their little rhythm and they're playing together, and the offensive line, then an injury goes in there, and then all of a sudden it's kind of right back to square one. And so especially when you look at this defense and how they're learning this defense with their Zimmer. If Zimmer's not here next year, that's the defense guys learning another defense, so that can be a problem too.
Again, everybody's writing off Dallas, and I think that's a huge mistake.
Well, I like that they're doing it.
I like the position we're in. Again, you see, I actually think that Daniels might actually play now, which is good for Washington.
I heard that.
But I like the fact that the people are writing us off because, again, you would assume that our guys are going to come back. Maybe this is one of them years where they come back and re-injure. I hope not, but we already have in that 3-3. Relax, we're fine. I say the same thing, Weed, but I like the narrative because it's going to make it that much sweeter. But anyway, getting back to the games, 1 o'clock matchup. The Jacksonville Jaguars host the Green Bay Packers, the surging Green Bay Packers. I think this is a close game, Phil.
I actually think so as well. Jacksonville has been such a disappointment in a lot of areas, but they are getting a rhythm going. Their offense is kind of like, they look like they know how to play football. You know, I drafted Brian Thomas early on my fantasies, and I kind of left him there into the corner. And then all of a sudden now he's coming up. He's catching deep passes. Green Bay has a good defense, and they should be able to hold Jacksonville down. But again, I'm interested to see if they can balance it out. Jacksonville to keep it close, but I still think Green Bay is definitely the more potent team when it comes to these two in the matchup. Right now, Green Bay playing from playoff type of football. Now, again, Brian brings up a good fact. You're playing that way now. Can you play that way at the end of the season, and will your roster still hold up? So, nobody won shit in October.
Injuries. You see what's happening across the league. I don't wish them on anybody, but again. So who are you taking there?
I got Green Bay. I got Green Bay in this matchup.
Yeah, the Jaguars are getting 4. I think this could very well be another field goal game. Green Bay's been on a roll.
I think Green Bay wins by at least 2 touchdowns. That's what I think.
Yeah,
I think it's. I don't think it's as close by the end.
We're not using points in this scenario anyway. No. We're just picking them straight up.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take the Packers. Well, yeah. So, but that's a game to watch out for, though, because as a Green Bay fan, there's not much excitement going into Jacksonville, and the Jacksonville is playing better, people. I'm just telling you.
They play better in London.
They do have weapons, like Phil said. This could be upset central, but I'm not going to pick it. I might pick it, but not tonight. I'm going to go Green Bay. I'll probably stick with that pick. They are playing better. Jordan Love seems to be doing decent. I think it's just one of them years for Jacksonville. They're sitting there at 2-5.
And it's not a bad team. It's not a bad team. It's just unfortunate
thing that
football.
Scares me here if I'm a Green Bay Pack, because they're not a bad team.
No,
they got talent on that roster. They just can't put it together.
Yep.
They're coming up short, but. A loss is a loss. But okay, yet another 1 o'clock game, a big 1 o'clock slate. There are no bye weeks this week, so that's why we got all these games.
Didn't know that.
Houston Texans host the Indianapolis Colts.
Hope so too.
Houston 5-2 versus the Colts, a nice divisional. Not that we care about this division, but it is a divisional matchup.
Two teams that are like two teams with 2 mobile quarterbacks, young. One's a little bit healthier than the other because the other one thinks he's invincible tank that wants to run over people, and he realizes linebackers are a little bit bigger than what they appear in the rearview mirror. So I think if Richardson would just calm the F down and be a pocket quarterback and then run when he necessarily needs to and slide and things like that. You got to get a quarterback coach in his freaking ear, man, because if you can get this guy under control, this team can be amazing. I got to go Texans with it just because I love how young they are. They got a good mixture of veterans, rookies, young guys, but it's at the right spots, and they're playing really good ball. And when they tend to struggle, it's more on themselves. I can't see that happening with the Colts, and so I got to go with the Texans in this matchup.
Yeah, the line is anywhere. It started at 4. I'm seeing a lot of 5s and some 4.5. So anywhere from 4.5 to 5, like I Love Weed says. I'm going to take the Texans to win the game. Again, that line makes it tough because the Colts always play Houston tough. Houston has played well, but not as good as their record would indicate. Yeah. They're 5-2.
But that's the thing is they got potential to be better, but they can be better. You've seen it. Yes, you know they can. That's what's scary.
They have not played great. Yeah. But that's another one I'd have to think about. I'm trying to find that upset, but I'm going to stick with the Texans at home. I think that's too much for the Colts to overcome. That's a tough place to play, so give me the Texans. The final 1 o'clock matchup, and it's the one I'll be live streaming. Well, I'm going to be commenting on all the games, but this game I highlighted is the Cincinnati Bengals, the 3-4 Cincinnati Bengals hosting the 4-2 surging Philadelphia Eagles. Bengals hosting the Eagles. The line on this game is 2.5. Bengals are given 2.5 to the Birds. What do you think, Primetime?
I think
about this one?
See, to me, I think that's a really good. I think that's a really good score in the sense that this is going to be a very close game. Cincinnati not playing this greatest football in the past couple of years, just not one of those teams that you really look at. But again, potent enough to be scary. All of a sudden, Jamar Chase gets open, and the secondary can allow things to happen. But if you put Mitchell on him, I think that he can handle him. And I mean, he's going to win some battles. But again, if you get one touchdown deep, that's a win, I really think, in this type of game. So I got to go Philadelphia. But again, I would not be surprised if Cincinnati was able to pull this off at home. Again, at home, it's a different environment. But Philly's offense should be able to get this team going and ahead enough to where by the time Cincinnati does get it going, it shouldn't matter. I'm
curious what my Eagle fans say here. They're not going to like my prediction of the game. I'm going to take the Bengals even up here.
And I was very close on this one too. I was thinking Bengals. I'm like back and forth.
The line means anything. This is what I'll say to Philly D and CZ and the crew. I will say this. Is that if the Eagles can find a way to go into Cincinnati and win this game, then I think the Eagles may end up winning this division. I know it's not as easy as that, but that would be an unbelievable win for me. I know they played better, but again, the Giants are just I feel bad for the Giants because they suffered another season-ending injury. They had two guys out. That's true. On the offensive line,
I hate
Daniel
in
Jones
general.
Stinks.
Yeah.
I just feel bad for my guy Pizzle, but it is what it is. If the Eagles find a way to go into Cincinnati and win, hats off. I think they now become the front runners to win this division. That would be a signature win in my book.
Yeah, because I couldn't see us going in there. Yeah, I couldn't see us going in there and beating Cincinnati right now.
Everybody, again, they're going to say, oh, well, they're only 3-4. Cincinnati is going to surge, and I think I keep hearing myself. That's why I'm screwed up. I don't know if it's the lag or
it could be anything. Remember, my stuff's not really working here well.
Yeah, I know. That's why you'll hear me stop because I'm kind of hearing myself. But Cincinnati Bengals, I'm going to go with the Bengals in this game. Kind of like what I'm doing with Dallas. I think Eagles have a good chance to win. I believe Dallas has a very good chance to win in San Fran, but I ain't picking them. Give me Cincinnati Bengals at home to get to 500 and start to get on a roll here. I'll take the Bengals. Not going to predict the score. Obviously, they cover the line. I think it's maybe a 10-point game. Maybe it's a field goal and there's a late turnover. Cincinnati scores to open it up. I do think Cincinnati has a lot of weapons. I think they miss Joe Mixon, but not as much as when you got T. Higgins and you have who else am I thinking of on the outside there? Jamar Chase. I just think that might be too much for the Eagles, but we're going to see. I'm looking forward to watching and see if the Eagles can go in there and actually get a win and score a lot of points. That would be fun to watch. But I'm going to take the Bengals. So, moving on to the first 4 o'clock game. San Diego Chargers, the 3-3 Chargers, are hosting the 2-5 Saints, who were decimated by injury. Welcome to our world. Literally, they haven't won a game since beating the Cowboys. T. Higgins is out. Wow, that would be a big loss for them if he is out.
Yeah, about 89% are picking the Chargers, and I don't blame them right now. I still got to go Saints with this one, man. As much, I wouldn't bet on anything. I wouldn't bet my mortgage on this game. I don't blame people for picking the Chargers. They look a little bit better. I think it's one of those games that the Saints will turn it on all of a sudden and look good for one game.
Who's quarterbacking for the Saints?
I honestly do not know by this point because Carr was there, Carr was not there, then Hill's not there. It's like I don't know.
Derek Carr is doubtful. So, Spencer Rattler. Phil's putting his hands in Spencer Rattler's.
Yeah. That's what I'm gonna do.
Good
I'm gonna
luck
go
with that.
I'm gonna go ahead and ride that train right now, and let's see how far I go. It's just like, man, I ran out of gas already. The rattlesnake, I like that. I made changes right before the game, but
you're stuck.
I'm stuck. I'm gonna go Saints right now. I don't know why. It's just one of those. I just gonna be my yeah. No. That's the reason why. So the Saints. So I'm gonna go.
Brian Reese says he's been the starter. I thought they went with somebody else initially, then brought him in.
They did bring it, but he got hurt. I think
full game.
Yeah, then they got hurt, and then he had to go Rattler as well.
Yeah.
But
I don't know, man.
Their offense
I'm gonna go with the Chargers. You can go with Rattler.
I'll go with Rattler. I'm gonna rattle that.
Spencer Rattler.
That's my one upset of the week. Okay, so I'll give you that. That's it.
I think this is going to be my upset right here.
Yeah, I usually pick like 3 or 4 upsets, but I'm going to go with one this time.
I don't know. I'm all over the place. I'm going to have to redo this tomorrow before the games.
You can't make fun of Rattler and then ride on it.
Oh, no, I'm not picking that. I'm talking about this game here is very tough for me to pick. It's Seattle Seahawks are
Is Metcalf playing?
The 4-3 Seahawks. The 4-3 Seahawks are hosting the Buffalo Bills.
I can't see. I like what Buffalo's got over there. I mean, eventually I think Mari Cooper's going to be a little bit more. I mean, he got a touchdown last week right off the bat, pulling some coverage. I like Buffalo in this matchup.
DK Metcalf is doubtful.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It just, not to say that he was amazingly potent while he was healthy. Maybe this kind of go sit in the corner, go think about what you've been doing, and then kind of hopefully come back ready and hungry to really kind of, because let's be real, concentration issues is his problem. He has a great, just a big dude, very athletic, can run fast as hell, but just drops passes sometimes that, that should be, if he can just get some secure hands, I think he would be an amazing all-pro Hall of Famer. But right now you're teetering, really. You're teetering on the border of back in. Yeah, exactly. Back and forth between bad and good. You'll have an amazing career, but unless you just get your shit together, possession receiver wise, I think he would be an amazing, just one of the top. But to me, I think he's top 20. But if he just brought that game, he could make himself top 5. So
yeah. The line is 3, by the way.
Oh, that close?
Seattle
Holy shit!
+3.
I don't know what they see in
+3 at home. So
is the crowd?
So
the crowd, they're taking
Bills,
that.
Right?
I'm going with the Bills. The Bills. Yeah, exactly. Philly
I
D.
think I'm going to go with the Bills as well.
Bills win by 17.
17 at the 12th man. Look at you.
Oh man, they're just because the crowd noise, they're going to shut up by halftime.
You like that, Dustin? Come on now. That was he would have me on and never allow me back. But yeah, I'm going to go with Buffalo, but I don't know, man. That's a tough game for me. That's a very tough game for me. I'm rooting for Seattle though. Why? Just F the Niners.
I'm not rooting for Seattle. Fuck Seattle. We want to knock them out of the playoffs.
Yeah. 425 start. The first 425 start. The Washington Commanders, the 5-2 Commanders, hosting the Chicago Bears.
Another one kind of being fed to them. It's just one of those things, man. Each matchup, it just feels like it's just a dessert.
Commanders are a +2.5, +3.
It should be more.
Because they don't think that.
They don't think more. I don't think Chicago's anything. I've never really thought. I think
but they
look
Daniels
good.
Is playing.
Yeah, man, I gotta go Washington. I just can't. I mean, again, I didn't see.
Yeah, I'm going.
Chicago was that team that hit me with the 13-1 week. They pulled off all of a sudden 38 points and they looked amazing. So I'd be surprised if they do this.
Chicago.
Oh, I'd be too as well. But
I'm going to pick the Commandos.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pick the Commandos. Home field excitement. They moved to 6-2. Again, that's what I was trying to tell Leo in Mark's chat. Eagles. Some Eagle fans are worried about Dallas. Some Dallas fans are worried about Eagles. And meanwhile, the Commandos just keep putting up
Just keep
wins.
going. Yeah.
Why? Because their schedule's ass. I mean, yeah, they had some good wins early. I gave them credit at Arizona and at Cincinnati. They've already went to
but
Cincinnati.
these are fed, but a lot of fed games to them. You know, we all know that. I mean, we look back at the opponent, but again, that's great for you.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at college football, a lot of championship teams are built like that. Oh, you put those opponents so you can bash on in the beginning, so when the tough opponents come in later on in the season, you're ready for it. Your offense is going. Your defense has already been playing together. It's a hell of a combination for them. It's just, it's been a very simple schedule.
Yeah. Moving along to the second 425 game, the Denver Broncos, led by Phil's alum, Oregon's own Bo Nix, hosting the 1-6 Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, I think Andy Dalton's not playing on this one, from what I heard. Isn't he hurt?
Broncos
or
are 11-point favorite.
So we got Bryce Young coming back into
11-point
the
favorite.
mix. Maybe he's learned some stuff when he's out, or we're going to see as soon as he gets the ball. So
Wouldn't
it's
that be
interesting.
nice to see Commanders go in there and get a win for Bryce? That would be cool.
So, but I gotta go.
But
I gotta
I'm not
go.
picking
Denver. They're getting their offense going. Nix looks like an NFL quarterback. I liked him in college in the sense thought he looked NFL ready. But him, I like how he stands up to Peyton on the sideline. So I like Broncos in this matchup. They're at the home team, and of course Carolina. Man, they look good for a little bit, but I think it really had to do with the leader that they had at the time.
Yeah, I agree. Wow, EJB, Panthers win this. Look at that. That would be a signature win, but I don't see it. I see Denver going.
That would make the franchise
5-3.
feel a little bit better, at least about Bryce Young.
It would. It would. I'm rooting for Bryce Young, but not in this game. I like Bo Nix as well. I think Denver rolls in this game, unfortunately for Bryce Young. So I think Denver wins the game. So moving along to another huge divisional matchup. A struggling Raiders team, 2-5, are hosting the 6-0 Kansas City Chiefs. So that's a tough one for the Raiders.
If I was somebody in Vegas, I would just throw like maybe $20 on the Raiders. You never know what might happen. Be ready to lose that $20 because if I had to really bet big, I'd probably put my money definitely on the Chiefs, is which way I'm going to be leaning. Again, NFL, any given Sunday, it'd be surprising to see the Raiders come out and really kind of knock it to the Chiefs. But right now, the Chiefs are playing good football, and now they got another weapon as well in the sense of a good wide receiver. So let's see what happens in that combination, because one thing Mahomes is really good at so far is gelling with wide receivers that come in. So I'm interested to see what him and Hopkins can do.
Am I the only one? And I see EJB predict it. I'm curious to see. I love Weed's answer to this, because Weed's picking Cleveland to upset the Ravens. I kind of think the Raiders can do the same thing here. I know that's weird. You just got rid of Devontae Adams, but I think the Raiders are going to win this football game. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me to break it down for you. I think that Gardner Minshew, right? He's the quarterback, right? Mm-hmm. I think they're going to have a sense of relief, and they're going to win one for the Gipper here. They are struggling, but I think they're going to shock the world and beat the Chiefs.
There's no Gipper
I do.
Here.
I think Crosby's a nasty pass rusher.
Dude, man.
I
was afraid that Crosby was going to end up in Detroit. With Hudson going down, Detroit's GM is good enough and aggressive enough to at least go after somebody like Crosby and give up some stuff, because especially if you're feeling that this could be your year and now you have your main weapon out. So, I was thinking something was going to happen there.
It's a weird game for me. I don't know why I'm saying. I think this is a game that Gardner Minshew just gets unconscious.
He does. He has a
points.
He has a history of doing
they
that.
Win.
All of a sudden he looks like some California dude.
Say that.
Hey, but they haven't had that game yet, right?
Of the week. They're 2-5. Kansas City 6-0. They just got what's the receiver that they just got? DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
I think everything. Oh my God! And they come in flexing, and I think the Raiders just go out and get a win. So why I don't know, but I'm taking the Raiders this week on a hunch. This is my oh my God game. So you heard it here. I could be a jackwagon or I could be a hero. I just have a weird feeling about this one. So we're going to skip over the Cowboy game and go to the Monday night game. The Pittsburgh Steelers are hosting the 5-2 Steelers are hosting the lowly 2-5 New York Giants.
Wow.
Wow, that's what you get. You get a wow.
Yeah.
The
Monday
line
Night
on
Football?
that game right
Really?
now is
Monday Night Football? This is what we
Steelers
put on Monday night?
6.
This was like, did they have a date on Monday? They're like, well, I want to put a game on there where I don't have to pay attention to.
Well,
really, the Pittsburgh, like, they
didn't
went
expect it to
into
be.
the
Steelers
season.
have played a lot of
No, come on,
primetime
man.
games.
At what point last year did you go into this year thinking, oh man, Pittsburgh and Giants on this Monday night game, this is going to be
cutting
the
it up.
shit? Like, no, man, this is a crap ass game. Should be on Thursday Night Football. I got to go Steelers with this. I don't think this is going to be a close game.
Yes.
It could be a close game just because it depends on what Steelers offense does. I mean, let's be real. The weakness of that Steelers team is their quarterback, and their quarterbacks aren't terrible. They're just, they can beat you, but they can also lose the game as well, too. So I don't think one's an advantage over the other. You just have one with more experience, and he tends to throw the ball a little bit further down the field, and that helped him last week. Does it help him this week? I don't know. I mean, a running quarterback I think would help them a little bit more this week. So I got to go Steelers with this one, but I just think just because Giants are that bad of a team, man.
Yeah, and this is another game that scares me where I think they could win if they had any offensive line, but I'm not going to pick the Giants. After watching them against Philly, I think Steelers can get to the quarterback. If not,
they definitely can.
So give me the Steelers at home. The line, I believe I said, was the -6. It should be 16 in my opinion, but give me the Steelers to roll over New York. I think it'll be close for a little bit.
Because Steelers can't
TJ Watt
score
goes
abundance
nuts.
of points. That's the reason why they're not giving that amount.
Yep, 96% of the people picked the Steelers over the Giants. So
Put me in
it's
that
not
one.
as though we're going,
Yeah,
So
yeah. Oh,
I
upset
would
of the
say
week.
Give me the Steelers. No, I don't. But anyway, the time has arrived. Primetime, Phil. The time has arrived for the epic one of the games of the week. I hate these primetime late night games. I will not be streaming the game, but I am going live right after the game. So it is what it is. I'm going to do a immediate post game reaction live stream. So the San Francisco 49ers, the 3-4 49ers, are hosting the 3-3, the better record Dallas Cowboys. And the line is 4.5. Niners are giving the Cowboys 4.5 points. Prime time. Where you going?
Man, I
You
talk
don't
about the history. No, I know exactly where I'm going with this one. I don't like what our offense has been doing. I don't like what our defense has been doing. I don't like the history that we've had with this team. Even if we had all their people healthy, the momentum. Oh, I love their mentality or what they talk about in the sense of what their mentality is, but it's different than what I see on the field. I love last year that they got out of the bye week and they really kind of put it together. I'm hoping that that's what's happening this year. But I'm with Bryan when he says I have to see it to believe it yet. I had expectations for this team, and they have not even lived up to those bare minimum expectations that I had for this team, and that was on offense and defense. I thought this defense was gonna kind of lead us a little bit more, just because we had a lot more talent on that side of the ball. Even though our offense could still, the important pieces were there, they should still be able to put points. I think the offseason, the selfishness that some of these guys had is playing into some of their they're just not being on the same page. You mix that in with the fact that McCarthy has just been calling shitty ass plays and just been managing the game very just terribly in certain situations. I'm interested to see what Cook does. I think he can be the difference maker in this offense because, again, when I looked at him last year, I love what he was doing against an offensive line that wasn't doing well. I think the offensive line when it comes to the run game is definitely a lot better than what our pass protection has been. When it comes to their side of the ball, when it comes to San Francisco, What's happening right now on their
No,
side?
Vinny.
They have wide receivers going down. Our main running back is going down. Well, Mason's a badass running back. You found him a really good running back. And the one problem that we have on this defense is, of course, the run game and that defensive tackle position. Until we get that, I can't pick this defense to win games, man. They if they surprise me, if they will, but with the combination of our injuries, with the combination of our stupidity in the sense of the offense, I do like that he comes out and plays better. But what is his record against San Francisco for the past couple of years? I still got to go on that one. And even with all those injuries, I still unfortunately have to go for San Francisco, and I'm hoping I'm wrong in this situation. And it's going to be a close game, I think, but I still think they get us by a touchdown, and I think the final score ends up being 24-17 San Francisco.
That's a great score, Phil. That really is. And looking at the injuries, John Stevens Jr. hasn't played, so it's not like a loss, but I feel bad for the man. He's on the IR. Jordan Phillips, defensive tackle, still on the IR. Kellen Carson is questionable. Deron Bland out. Still on IR, technically. We have till Wednesday to take him off, or he's lost for the year. I think they will take him off, and he just will remain inactive if he's not ready to go. Micah Parsons is out. That's a big one. The 49ers, Damondre Lenore is questionable. I expect him to play. Hufanga, their safety, who I love, is out on IR. Jawan Jennings is out. George Kittle's questionable. I expect him to play. Again,
Exactly,
they have
JB.
Mason.
Yeah.
You know,
Mason's a badass
they
running
have
back,
Mason.
man.
He's
God,
the
he looks
real
good. Yeah, he looks like the real deal.
He
He looks like
looks
a
real
running
good.
back. He runs downhill. His head is leaning forward. He's ready to take on a hit instead of some of these guys that kind of going uphill. Yeah, so
this is why I wanted Deron Bland back, because I think we would have had a real good shot at winning this game. Brock Purdy sits here, 9 touchdowns and 7 INTs. Dak sits here with 8 touchdowns and 6 INTs. Brock does have 200 and roughly 40 yards more passing than Dak.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy's a good quarterback. He's not playing great. Without Christian McCaffrey, his record isn't very good.
No.
So again, let me switch my camera.
And I mean, yeah, I would. Yeah, and I'm going to fill this in as you switch over and you get into your mailbox and everything. But yeah, you're right. I mean, when you look at the way that their offenses and everything has been playing, it's very stagnant. But when you look at how our defense has been playing, oh man, that's look crappier. When you look how our offense has been playing, it's not the fact that we don't have this amazing talent on offense. Is that they just can't get it downfield, and if they do, they shoot themselves in the foot with a penalty, or somebody drops a key pass. So yeah, man, it's frustration all around, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, I like where Philly D's going with Lepke. I've been on the Lepke train before most people. I just love the way he plays. He got a bad rap last year as a rookie, fumbling at the goal line. Okay, it is what it is. He's a good ball player. I love the points in this game. I love everything about Dallas in this situation, but I'm going to stick to what I told everybody. So I'm not going to pick this team until they can get over the hump. Now, you would say, wow, this really isn't that game, but I trust McCarthy coming after a bye. He's 12-5. I just look at last year, how they came. I think they're going to be creative. The only thing that worries me is we don't have a Brandon Cooks. We need Jake Ferguson to have a monster game. Jake Ferguson needs to play, and I think this bye week helped him, like, quietly, because remember he had the ankle injury, or no, the kneecap or whatever.
Yeah, so
it was
knee.
bad, and people
knee.
he thought he was lost for the year, and this time helped him because he didn't have a good game last game. He came back. I expect him to be involved. Supposedly they have something up their sleeve, from what I'm hearing. So take the points. If this is one of those games where I'm going to take one for the team here. Cowboys plus 4.5. I like the under in the 47. I do not think either team is going to just go off, but I'm going to give the edge slightly to the San Francisco 49ers, 24-20.
Good score.
But
Good score.
again, give me the 4.5 points. I think we definitely can win this game.
I definitely think so,
But
too.
I'm not going to pick them until they prove they can beat the 49ers, everybody. It's just That's just how I'm going to roll. But I like
It's just a
we're
lot.
sitting. I
There's a
think
lot of injuries, but
win.
we could still win it. I agree as well too, man. I
Yeah.
definitely agree.
And I would say this is like if Eagles go in and beat Cincinnati, this would be probably more impressive to me. That's why I'm picking the Niners to win. I think the Eagles can beat Cincy easier than we could beat the Niners. I just do. I think Niners are desperate. Niners are going in on a bye week. Expect Niners to go for it on fourth down. They do not want to go to 3-5. So for that reason, I'll give me the Niners and a slight nod. But go Cowboys, man.
Yeah, exactly. I'm hoping that they prove me wrong. I prove Cowboy fans wrong. Prove just the media wrong. We're not on that train. Yes, I know Dak said that earlier. You want to jump off? We're not. We're Cowboy fans. We're here, but we're pointing out what is wrong with this team.
Brandon Cooks is not playing.
If they're sitting there,
IR.
if they're sitting there and they get an interview and they're somehow surprised by what stuff, Jerry's somehow surprised. It doesn't, and he talks on these radio shows about how it's a very complex position, it's not, man. We can analyze stuff. We can see with our own eyes. We knew going into the season the defense. If you don't get a defensive tackle worthy of 20 million plus, you're not going to get. I'm not saying just signing a guy and giving him 20 million. I'm meaning a guy that's worthy of that 20 million, that's going to be playing every single snap, gives you the rush of the pass, and of course the commitment of staying there with the run. So unless you get that guy, you're going to continue to struggle until you get everybody on the same page. Right now, that's not happening, and when you go deep into the roster with these guys that haven't had a whole lot of playing time, guess what? It gets a little bit worse, and gaps in the defense happen, and that's what we're talking about. If we can get that part going, that's awesome, but when they've had their shot of doing anything, that offense has not gotten going. Whether you want to blame it on McCarthy, whether you want to blame it on Schottenheimer not, getting McCarthy the correct coffee and during those timeouts, I don't know what it is, but I know that last year they did prove us wrong in the sense of coming out of the bye week. What we talked about in the sense of McCarthy playing really, really sound football, and that's just been his history. It's just hard, and when you're coming out against an opponent that you've really struggled against, whether it's playoffs, whether it's even in the regular season, where's this team going to go? And so I can ramble around all this day about this rivalry, because right now, when you look at these two teams, is it a rivalry? Is it still a rivalry there? I think the fans are what makes this still a rivalry.
Yes.
And it's true.
Yes, it is. I hate the 49ers. Bang,
I hate
bang.
them. I hate them too, man, and that's the truth.
I hate the 49ers more than I hate the Eagles.
I would have to agree as well.
I live here.
Yep.
Sorry.
I agree.
And you know why? Because they beat our ass every time.
Well, they beat our ass, but they talk about our Super Bowls they've been into it, but they've had more of a drought than we have. So I know they've been to it, and they'll bring it up. But again, they haven't won one either. So
I'm tired of losing to that.
I am. I'm tired of losing
flat
that
brim coach Kyle.
Trust me, I have friends that are 49er fans. This ain't fun. This hasn't been fun for the past 5 or so years,
Yeah.
So
if they
Bryan,
get blown out, Philly D.
it's like
I don't see McCarthy going anywhere. That just makes his exit at the end of the year more in stone. They're gonna ride this out.
Yeah,
Again, me and Phil are fine with getting a high draft pick, but I'm not going that route until it needs to happen. So a lot's going to play out over the next couple
where's our
weeks.
injuries? Where are you bringing up our injuries? You don't know. Nope. You brought their injuries, but what about ours? We got like double to triple the amount of injuries with key players. So no. We don't get the excuse, but they get the excuse, right? So automatically.
Listen, Phil, if it goes bad by the time we go to Dallas, me and Phil are both going to be tapping on the weight room glass as they're working out. We're both going to
be the distraction.
Get thrown out at a star.
Are you going to be part of the problem, or are you going to be part of the solution? I'm going to be I'm going to be the whole problem.
Yeah. CD.
So anyways, game time. Anything you want to say to the people before we get out of here?
No, man. Just I'll be streaming tomorrow 1:00. We'll probably do the 1:00 games, and then we'll get off the air, and then I'll come. I'm going live right after the game, probably 11:20, 11:30. If I'm on early, that means we're getting our ass kicked. So hopefully you don't see me before 11:20, 11:30. We plan on causing a ruckus, Vinny. You
know what grinds my
gears? I'm still waiting on. I'm still waiting on Mike Fisher. He hasn't gotten back to me, so I guess that's not happening. I'm going to reach out to him again. Maybe he didn't. I only have his one email. I know he gave me his other email a while back, but I don't remember what it was.
See, our injuries made us trash for
We'll see.
half the season, so there's a difference, man.
I'm
You got
hoping to
4
be able to
key
get a
pass
10-minute
rushers.
with me, Phil, and
You got to
Fish.
look in the beginning, man. We went over everybody that was there and how the key injuries happened. So again, game time. I appreciate you coming on here. We'll jump on here Monday or so. We'll have to figure it out, But anyways, you're kicking ass on your channel. I got to give you props and shout outs to that, man.
Thank
You're going
you,
40
sir.
plus. By the time we get to draft, what are you gonna be at 50? You're right there at 50, aren't you? Close.
I don't know, man. I don't know. No, if I pick 42, something.
That's still not bad, man. You're kicking ass. So, anyways, I appreciate everybody coming
Thank
through.
you.
Let us know what your prediction is. Talk trash, whatever, man. These
Like
Cowboys
it.
need a little bit of
Share
a
it,
punch
please.
in the ribs, and that's what we're talking about with Jerry Jones and stuff. Hopefully, this is a little bit of a rude awakening. So he'll go into next year. Oh, we had with the 80+ million, because they're gonna obviously do just a little bit of a wiggle room with Dak and CD's contract. So I'm interested to see what they do,
Breakfast
but
Club, awesome movie.
who are we going to have young guys going forward? Who are they getting rid of? So, I mean, this is going to be a key. Who's stepping up? We were talking about, I know you were talking on your channel about the Jalen Brooks, Jalen Tolbert, stuff, who's that other one I'm thinking of? The other wide receiver, young guy, Florinaire. So I'm interested to see if anybody is to finally step up. I don't know if Brandon Cooks. I mean, I know the chat was talking about Brandon
Ryan
Cooks.
Flournoy, yeah.
Yeah, I know I don't know if Cooks is playing. From what I know, he isn't. So I didn't know.
Well, here's the deal. No, Cooks is still out. He's on the IR. He has to miss this game. But here's the deal. If you're a young receiver, this is a perfect opportunity to be able to step up and do something. Prime time, 49ers. Go make a play, Jalen Brooks.
Damn right.
You run the right route, catch the ball. Ryan Flournoy, have your coming out party, bro. Let's go.
Well, we can't catch the ball. One thing we can do is ring that what?
Always ring that bell, everybody.
Damn right, guys. You guys take care.
Hey, all right, good job, guys. Let's just not come in tomorrow. Let's just take a day.
Talking prime rib in bed. I'm using a blanket as a napkin. That's fancy. That's fancy.
Real fancy.
What? Did we just become best friends?
Yup.
Do you want to go do karate in the garage?
Yup.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
I think we handled that with dignity.
Free candy!
Yoni loves Chachi.